Good afternoon. I am so pleased to welcome you all here for this event. It's really great to see a range of students, faculty colleagues from across Georgia Tech, practitioners from the professional community, and alumni in the audience today. I'm Julie Kim, and I'm the Associate Chair in the School of Architecture. Back in August, I learned about the College of Architecture's Culture of Research Call for Symposium, aimed at highlighting our collective research work as well as providing opportunities to connect with larger academic and practice communities. I'm grateful to the college and to Nancy Greenlee for providing this opportunity for symposia like this one and others to generate critical discussion amongst our colleagues. And I have a few more thank yous. I would also like to thank Scott Marble and his support of this effort, as well as Rachel Von Inns, Kelly Novisky, and Tia Jewell in the administrative office for their assistance. I'd also like to recognize a group of students from our Women in Architecture student organization who were excited to get involved and have helped in so many ways as well. I really could not have done this all without your help, so thank you. The topic of this symposium is on metrics, data, and measuring results. Sophisticated knowledge and skills in the right hands and minds can empower designers to make smarter design choices. But these instruments, I don't think, are prescriptive. I believe that the balance lies between the space of the qualitative and the quantitative, between what is measurable and then what is immeasurable. There are a number of questions then that begin to come to the surface. So in this field of high tech, where are the spaces for the ephemeral, the un-quantifiable, in an arena that is driven by data and computation? When so much emphasis is placed on metric-driven decision-making, how do we maintain our creative curiosity and place value to the artistic ambitions of our discipline? How can technology not prescribe, but rather leverage and amplify the articulation of the thoughtfully considered design artifact? In fact, for myself, I'm interested and remain interested in engaging in an architectural design process that is a balance of desire that's weighed against fact. Because I believe that architecture depends on this balance between the real and the imaginary, where the real might be based on empirical knowledge, so things like site, typology, program, but the imaginary is not so rational and they can't be necessarily quantified. But the two parts, they rely on each other, because without the imaginary part, you could possibly end up with a predictable solution. But on the other hand, without the realities, you risk an irrelevant and a self-referential solution. So it seems then our challenge is to develop a robust analytic model that integrates both the real and the imaginary, that things that are tangible as well as those that are perceptual. In other words, to find the places of the both and rather than the either or. This symposium is an opportunity to bring together 5 incredible thought leaders to hear them to discuss the challenges of making qualitative decisions in a world when so much is driven by these metrics. To balance their artistic ambitions against metric-driven decision-making. In other words, asking the question, just because the data points to this as a particular solution, does that always mean it's the best one? What about things that can't be measured? What about things that are about the experiential or the intangible? So fundamentally then, I think that what will happen from this conversation is really one that talks about what are some of the new design methodologies that emerge from this data-driven programs. Let me pause here and introduce Michelle Addington, Anna Dyson, Sheila Kennedy, Jennifer Clark, and Beth Mine. Michelle Addington is a Hines Professor of Sustainable Architectural Design at Yale University and is educated both as an architect and as an engineer. Her teaching and research explore energy systems, advanced materials, and new technologies. Building on her dissertation research on the discrete control of boundary layer heat transfer using micro machines, she has extended her work to define the strategic relationships between differing scales of energy phenomena and the possible actions from the domain of building construction. She co-authored the book Smart Materials and Technologies for Architecture and Design, and she just recently published Emerging Technologies. Michelle has taught at Harvard University for 10 years before she joined Yale in 2006. And in 2009, Architect Magazine selected Michelle as one of the country's top 10 faculty in architecture. Anna Dyson. Anna is the director of the Center for Architecture, Science, and Ecology, a collaboration between Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. In addition, Anna is a professor who teaches design, technology, and theory at the School of Architecture at Rensselaer. She is the founding director of CASE, which is committed to bridging diverse worlds by proposing a new collaborative model for building research that unites interdisciplinary academic research with building and development practices. The consortium attempts to achieve this collaborative model by considering building science pursuits integrated with the aesthetic, social, and conceptual aspirations of architectural design inquiry. Anna holds multiple international patents for building systems inventions and is currently directing interdisciplinary research that's funded by a number of different foundations, including the National Science Foundation and the Department of Energy. Sheila Kennedy, FAIA, is a principal of Kennedy & Violich, an internationally recognized design practice that explores architecture, digital technology, and emerging public needs. Designated as one of Fast Company's Masters of Design, Sheila is described as an insightful and original thinker who is designing new ways of working, learning, leading, and innovating. Sheila is known for creative problem definition and concept creation strategy for clients. She also directs MAT-X, the Materials Research Unit at Kennedy Violich. MAT-X works collaboratively with business leaders, manufacturers, cultural institutions, and public agencies to create designs that advance the integration of new and traditional materials and material fabrication techniques in architecture. To date, MAT-X has developed designs and technology applications for DuPont, Siemens, Herman Miller, the North Face, Federal Republic of Germany, and the United States Department of Energy. The Portable Light Project was a nonprofit global initiative that enables people in developing world to create and own portable energy, harvesting solar textile kits. It was recognized with a 2012 Energy Globe Award, a 2009 U.S. Congressional Award, a 2009 Energy Globe Award, and a 2008 Tech Museum Laureate Award for technology that benefits humanity. All three of our guests, they talk about architecture and they engage in the discipline of architecture that builds cultural relevance to our discipline. I'm very excited to hear them speak more about this. Our two respondents who will join the discussion following the presentations. Jennifer Clark, first I'd like to introduce, is a director of Georgia Tech Center for Urban Innovation and an associate professor in the School of Public Policy. Jennifer publishes work on the development and diffusion of urban and regional policies and their effect on cities and their economic resilience. She's worked on regional economic policy projects with a broad range of organizations, including the UK and the US governments. Beth Mine is the executive director of the Institute for People and Technology and a professor in the College of Computing here at Georgia Tech. Her research program, Everyday Computing, examines the human-computer interface implications of having computation continuously present in many aspects of everyday life. Her research contributes to ongoing work in personal health information, computer-supported collaborative work, and human-computer interface design. Beth has created new technologies that support the independence and quality of life of older adults aging in place and that also increase creative collaboration in workplaces. So the structure of the symposium is that Michelle, Anna, and Sheila, in that order, will each offer presentations about 30 minutes or so apiece. Following the presentations then, Jennifer and Beth will join them in the front for an open discussion. I will moderate this discussion. We'll also open it to questions from all of you. I am so very excited to hear about the innovative research and the creative production of the work of these design leaders operating at that intersection of architecture, of art, of culture, and technology. Please join me in welcoming our panelists.